this runway casting for a grumpy brand or a smiley brand?
How much does the Triangle of Sadness grow out of the Square? Would you say these are rather similar or rather different films?
But it comes from a certain approach for me where I wanted to make wild, entertaining movies, where I really wanted to create something that was not an art house genre movie, that I wanted to combine the best thing with American cinema and European cinema. It's also in a direction of from Force Majeure to the Square, which was like looking broader aspect on the thematic, and leaving the main characters a little bit. Triangle of Sadness is even further a step of like creating an ensemble play that is dealing with the thematic rather than in a conventional way following a main character.
So what comes first for you when conceiving a project? Is it a theme? Is it a character? Is it a story, plot point?
This time it was the theme, because a lot of the thoughts I had on the theme of the film was coming from my wife, that is a fashion photographer. And I thought it was interesting that I don't think, for example, Marx, that had such a materialistic viewpoint on the world and talking about hierarchies and so on, I don't think he have a take on beauty, really. He have never really talked about that. And in our times, beauty have become such an important aspect. It's almost like that the beauty have becoming the strongest currency in some aspects. Look at the Kardashians, for an example.
So we need another tome of The Capital, right?
Sorry, yeah. It's you asked a couple of years ago. They asked 5th graders, "Do you prefer to be intelligent or beautiful?" And the majority is answering that they want to be beautiful, and it's probably not because they are stupid. It's because they understand what they need.
And an American communist.
On a $250 million luxury yacht.
I would have to say that Woody Harrelson's character, the one voicing the socialist critic of capitalist order, is maybe a bit exaggerated, but still very sympathetic one. I want to ask you, do you feel like it's important for this character to be sympathetic, for us to take the critics seriously?
I mean, for me, Woody's character, he is an idealist, alcoholist, and a Marxist. He's these 3 things. So, and he maybe is inspired a little bit by my mother. My mother is a person that still considers herself a communist.
How anti-capitalist are you? On the scale between Woody Harrelson and Zlatko Buric's characters, where would you fit in?
I'm definitely not anti-capitalist. I think that the mixed economy is probably the best. But I definitely think there are certain things that should be regulated, and that we should have a common agreement about how we're dealing with it. If you look at housing, for example, if you look at how people are, the housing market and real estate market and so on, it's completely absurd. Are we not wise enough to have gotten to know the downside of unregulated capitalism now, so we can find out what should be regulated?
There's also an interesting aspect of your film, the gender aspect, especially in the fashion industry, where females generally get paid much better than males. And I think the restaurant scene in your film is about that. And I wonder how much of an interest was this aspect for you?
I was very interested in the bill scene, because that's something I experienced myself. If you would ask any woman, they would say, "I'm very tired of being considered a sex object and only beautiful." But there's also something that is quite nice to be like the trophy wife, to be the one that is playing the role of, I'm here like a piece of jewelry next to my man that is the financial strong. So there's a lot of things in this gender expectation in relationship that they wouldn't stay in the way that they are if also people didn't like them, and people could take advantage of them. And I would say, like, since beauty is such a strong currency and such sexuality is such a big part of our drive as human beings, this is an aspect that can be used in the advantages of the women.
You looks paid for the tickets. Not bad, huh?
So what do you do?
I sell shit.
I think that one doesn't usually think of Ruben Östlund and cinematic set pieces, but I have to say that the rocking boat sequence is quite impressive on the technical level. It's maybe not Christopher Nolan's Inception hallway fight, but still it's getting close there. And I wonder, how did you do it? How difficult was it?
We built a set on a gimbal so we could rock it, and we built the corridor, a couple of the cabins, and the whole dining room on a gimbal. So for me, it was not very complicated, but for the set designer, it was very complicated, and it was quite complicated to shoot also because the whole crew was standing on a rocking set for 8 hours a day during 3 weeks. So people actually got seasick of the shooting of the film.
When I heard that you did a Triangle of Sadness, I thought, oh, you're doing a trilogy. There was a square, now there's a triangle, and what's next? Angle or maybe a line? But
we joked about this. I joked about this with my wife. We said it's going to be the octagon of confusion, and it's going to be a film that it's never is finished. And no. The next film is the entertainment system is down.
And it's taking place on an airplane, right?
Exactly. It takes place on a long-haul flight, and quite soon after takeoff, you can think of a flight that is 17 hours, something like that. Then the passengers gets the horrible news that the entertainment system is not working. So I'm going to look at modern human beings. You know, when the iPhone and the iPads are charging out, all of a sudden they are doomed to not have this digital distraction.
Okay, so good luck with that. Maybe in another Palme d'Or in the waiting.
Yes,
Thank you very much.